Thank you so much. Bob, did you know I was going to be up here tonight?
No.
It took me 6 years, but I finally pulled something over on Bob Dawson. That's my claim to fame. Well, I want to say it's a real privilege for me to be here tonight introducing Bob Dawson as the first recipient of the Alumni Hall of Fame today. Bob Dawson was the president of the Board of Governors at the Lake County Educational Service Center almost 6 years ago when he hired me as superintendent of schools. And that set off a great partnership for the next several years of working together to improve education for the students here in Lake County. So it's really a special honor for me tonight to be here introducing him and also to be introduced as his good friend. Now, I've been asked to share a few things with you today, kind of an overview of Bob's career and his significant contributions to Lake County. I can tell you so many things about Bob. I could tell you how he spent his entire life and his career here, including being a very famous star player on the Perry High School football team, and then graduating from Lakeland Community College in 1972. I could tell you about his rise to top management in every professional position he has held, including at Neff Perkins Company in Perry, his 23-year stint as Director of Human Resources for the Sidley Company in Painesville, and now as Administrator with the Lake County Department of Jobs and Family Services. I could also tell you about Bob's dedication to Lake County through his many community service-oriented volunteer positions. In fact, this November, Bob was elected to yet another 4-year term on the Lake County Educational Service Center Governing Board and also the board at the Auburn Career Center, and he was unanimously voted board president for the 11th time. He was also elected to the 4th consecutive 2-year term as the Ohio Fair Managers Association treasurer. And this is an organization that represents all of the Ohio County fairs with over 3,000 board members. And Bob was also recently honored as an outstanding fair supporter by the Ohio Department of Agriculture for his 32 years of service to the fair industry. I think you can see why Bob Dawson represents the finest qualities in what Lakeland hopes to develop in their graduates. But Bob Dawson is so much more than just a stellar resume of professional success and extensive community service. When I think of Bob Dawson, I think of the character of the man. I think of a man who is dedicated to his family, who is richly principled and ethical, and who brings a very special wisdom and compassion to every relationship that he encounters. And I have many encounters with Bob over the years, but one of my very first ones was when I was offered the position as superintendent of schools. And because I was offered the position so much before I actually assumed the position, I asked Bob if he would write me a letter of intent to hire. And he responded by telling me that he had worked for the cement industry for over 20 years and he had brokered multi-million-dollar deals just on a handshake. And so he was as good as his word. And for some reason, I trusted that. And for the next 6 years, he never, ever disappointed. He has always kept his word. He is a man of his word. And so I was fortunate enough to work for him and learn from him. And he, over the years, spoke so highly of Bob Sidley, and I learned so much about Bob Sidley by his famous quotes. And even tonight, when we were talking, he quoted Bob Sidley again. So you never know the kind of lifelong impact that you can have on somebody you work with. And I feel very fortunate to have worked with him for almost 5 years. Through the highs and the lows we experienced together, Bob demonstrated the best kind of leadership characteristics. He's even-tempered, steady, candid and reliable, compassionate, and at once tough and soft, and he has unwavering core values. So when I described Bob Dawson to my friend responded by saying, "You know, he sounds like the kind of guy you just want to be with." And I would add to that, work with and work for. So as a member of the Board of Trustees at Lakeland Community College, I can say with confidence that Bob Dawson is a role model for all of our students here, and he's the kind of guy that represents the best of what Lakeland can produce. So it is with great privilege for me to be taking part in inducting Robert J. Dawson into the Lakeland Community College Alumni Hall of Fame. Now, our state representative and Schneider and Fendi and Grindell could not be here tonight, but they all have proclamations for you. And I am told that you might want to say a few words.
Well, I like to pull things over on people, but I don't like them pulled over on me, so this is quite a surprise. And I assume that the provost is hoping we say insightful things up here, so I guess Shaq's going to Boston, huh? Well, I have to tell you, back at, this is a great evening to be with all my friends and family, fellow board members, and I thank you for giving up your evening to be here. And this is really special because Lakeland is just a huge part of my career and my life. Back at dear old Perry High School, I didn't care much about but playing ball, as Linda said. And if I had $1 for every time the teachers told my parents that I had exceptional test scores, but I was underachieving in the classroom, I could have bought 2 solid rounds of drinks for the house tonight. But late in my senior year at high school, some strange set of events drew my father and I quite close together. And I want to tell you tonight, my father was a great man in his own right. He's looking down at this and he's very happy, and for that I say thank you. But my mom and dad really wanted me to go to college, and I really wanted to make my mom and dad happy, and I enrolled in Lakeland. That was 1969. This campus was under construction. Nobody was here yet. So we took classes down in Paynesville. It's what's now the Key Bank building. It's kind of a neat place to go to school, actually. You know, we were on quarters back then. Classes were 45 minutes long, 3 days a week. You could finish a class, run down the stairs, jog over to Nemus, grab a 40-cent draft beer, and get up to your next class. And I will tell you, during finals week, a number of us took advantage of that to take the edge off. But what I remember most is that the instruction was exceptional, and I remember learning that I liked learning. I also, the aspect of being treated as an adult and having to make it on your own or not make it at all was a big motivator for me. At that point, I thought I wanted to teach and coach, and about the time I enrolled for a transfer to Kent State, the company, Neff Perkins, that I worked for offered me a very attractive promotion into management. As a result of that, I got that because I was going to Lakeland. As a result of that, management's what I've reported to work to do every day for the last 40 years. It's something I love, and I still love getting up and going to work each day. Once I got into business, Lakeland again was a tremendous asset for me. My first real job was in personnel management, and I came back here and studied personnel and labor relations, industrial psychology. Many nights my older children came here with me and stayed in what we used to call night care back then. And then a few years later at the Sidley Company, when I had profit and loss responsibilities, I came back again and I studied accounting, cost accounting, tax accounting. And again, the instructors were exceptional. They were usually business people at the top of their game. They taught at a high level. I learned a lot, and it absolutely accelerated my career. I've always been partial to Lakeland. Being in a management, I've always been in a position of hiring authority, or I was able to influence hiring, and I always made sure that Lakeland candidates got a good, strong look. We hired a lot of them, and I don't ever remember one that disappointed us. As program administrator at Job and Family Services, I can tell you that I continually encourage the case managers to stay aware of the educational opportunities over here. As a result, we've sent hundreds of students over here and hundreds of thousands of dollars of federal training money. Linda mentioned my board service. As a board member, I can tell you that I've always encouraged and supported any collaboratives with Lakeland Community College. And I've done these things, and I continue to do them because I know that when Lakeland's involved, it means positive results. I want to thank my sister Kay for coming in all the way from Minneapolis. Let me tell you, when Kay's in town and it's not Christmas, something big's happening. I want to thank my beautiful wife Dawn for all her support. I know she's the best wife and companion and mother ever, and she's my best friend. She's got a huge heart, and she's the big time giver in our household. But she stepped away from a lot of things to support me and make time in my endeavors, and I would not be up here tonight without her. And in closing, I'd like to quickly share with you what I know to be my 3 most significant contributions as an adult. And I'm going to tell you about them and then ask them to stand for a minute. First one would be Rodney J. Dawson, who's an 89 National Honor Society graduate of Perry High School and a 95 graduate of The Ohio State University in international business. And he's the founder and CEO of Great Lakes Tech Solutions right here in Cleveland, and he's here with his wife Katie tonight. Our daughter Denise Dawson. Denise is a 1991 National Honor Society graduate of Perry High School and a 95 graduate of Ohio University in Business Administration with honors. She's the Finance Research Manager at the Dawson Cancer Center of the Cleveland Clinic, and she's the mother of our 2 grandchildren, Michaela and Dawson Connor. And the third one would be Derek Dawson, number 88. And I'm sure you'll pick up a pattern here. Derek is a 2008 National Honor Society graduate of Perry High School. He's in his 3rd year at the University of Akron in the School of Nursing, the Honors College, and he aspires to be a nurse anesthetist. He's here with his girlfriend Kayla tonight. I'd like you to meet my Hall of Fame. As the saying goes, it doesn't get much better than this. Thank you so much.